Hey guys, and welcome back to another Lost Bits video right here on TetraBitGaming, the series where we explore video game content that goes unused, altered, or normally unseen. Over the course of the past few weeks, there have been so many Nintendo leaks that it's getting hard for me to keep up with all of them. Leak. Let's just say it's been a not so good month for Nintendo. One of the first ones to start this wildfire was a leak of Pokemon Blue and Yellow's original source code, and through it, many new discoveries were made. I know, I'm a few weeks late to the party, but the Nintendo ninjas were apparently in full force trying to take down content relating to this leak, so I wanted to hold off a bit until things cool down. Hopefully I won't have to take down this video, but if I do, you guys know why. Anyways, in this video, I'll not only be covering some of what I think are the more interesting things to come out of this leak, but also some new findings that have been discovered that I didn't cover in my original Gen 1 Lost Bits video. And if you guys enjoy this video and the Nintendo ninjas don't give me the zuck, I'll definitely try to make a video on the other recent Pokemon Gold and Silver discoveries that have surfaced. Anyways guys, enough talk, it's time to take a dive into this leak and find some more Pokemon Gen 1 Lost Bits. Alright, so first let's address what I think was the most talked about revelation from this leak, and that's the reference to an apparently scrapped 4th version, or I guess 5th version in Japan, of the original Gen 1 games, Pokemon Pink. Now, it's no surprise that the text string pink is used several times in the game, but what caused all of this commotion was actually the information found in a ROM header file. Here we can see the information text explicitly referring to Pocket Monsters Pink, as if it were a second, equal version to Pokemon Yellow. Further support that Pokemon Pink was once planned to accompany Pokemon Yellow can be found in a debug file that references both a yellow package as well as a pink one. As far as exactly which Pokemon would be the flagship one that would appear on the box art and would follow the player around is uncertain. I think that most fans have been speculating that it would have been either Clefairy or Jigglypuff. For Jigglypuff, some have pointed to the unprecedented success of the Pokemon anime at the time, where Jigglypuff was seen as a pretty memorable character. Additionally, this would also kind of explain why Jigglypuff was chosen to be added as a fighter to Super Smash Bros., which I believe was being developed around the same time. On the flip side, to support Team Clefairy, there is this frame seen only in the Japanese version of the Game Boy camera, which was changed in international releases to feature who else but Wario. Many believe this pairing here was supposed to be a reference to both versions of the game that were supposed to release together. In any case though, additionally, since the color pink is often seen as a more feminine color, it has been speculated that this game would have seen the appearance of the character green, known as blue in the Japanese version. But at the end of the day, be it Nintendo not wanting to release too many versions or thinking that a pink version wouldn't sell well enough or whatever, the pink version never saw the light of day, and if it truly was planned to release alongside Pokemon Yellow, just based on how little is seen outside of text references here, I can only assume the decision was made pretty early on in development. Okay, next, this source code also contains the beta names of several Pokemon. Many of these, such as Rapidash being known as Gallop, are remnants from the Japanese names of the Pokemon that weren't yet localized. Others, however, like Rattata, Clefairy, Vulpix, and Gyarados were known as Karadavar, Area, Foxfire, and Skullkraken, respectively. Other cool beta names include Hocus and Pocus, Karate, Kung Fu, and Judo, and Atlantis. Most of these names actually corroborate those seen on a pre-release poster featuring the original Pokemon 1 through 150, which predated the Western release of the games and anime. Now, while some of the names are pretty cool, I think some are a play on words a little too much. And in addition to these Pokemon names, some new unused sprites have also been uncovered. Now, these first ones were actually found in the also recent Pokemon Gold and Silver leaks, which again, I'm hoping to discuss in more detail in the future, and in those games they are labeled with a PMYF format, which is thought to be an acronym for Pocket Monsters Yellow Front, the front sprites for Pokemon Yellow. And yeah, Pokemon Yellow was being developed at the same time as Pokemon Gold and Silver, so it should come as no shock that some assets would float between games. Anyways, these unused alternate sprites with varying degrees of alternativity meant for Pokemon Yellow were found for Charmander, Caterpie, Butterfree, Weedle, Rattata, Raticate, Spearow, Arcanine, Farfetch'd, and Jolteon. Sprites for Squirtle, Kakuna, and Dodrio were also found, but they are nearly or completely the same as the ones that were used in the final cut of Pokemon Yellow. And finally, there's also this early version of the sprite for Mew, which appears to be a sort of halfway point between the original Japanese sprites from the red and green versions, and those updated in the international releases of Red and Blue. Next up, a number of other unused sprites were also unearthed. First are several scrapped Pokemon that we first learned about a few years ago from the 1997 Pokemon Gold Space World demo. Only the back sprites were uncovered in the Pokemon Blue Source leak, but I'll show you guys the front ones seen in the Gold beta as well, just for reference. In addition to pretty well-known scrapped Pokemon like Gorachu, Pikachu's once-planned second evolution, there are also sprites for other Pokemon related to the first gen, like the evolution between Golduck and Psyduck, the pre-evolutions for Vulpix, Meowth, Zubat, Blastoise, Goldeen, and Ponyta, and evolutions of Marowak and Wartortle, as Blastoise was originally not going to be the final stage. Then other completely scrapped Pokemon designs include a balloon, a deer, a cactus, some squid Pokemon, an evolution line of lizard Pokemon, this Pokemon that was apparently supposed to be an ice-type counterpart to Magmar and Electabuzz, kinda looks like Jinx. These fellas apparently supposed to be sumo-themed, and lastly, several more completely scrapped Pokemon, like this shark Pokemon known as Jag, this elephant Pokemon, some more fish Pokemon, this Pokemon known as Crocky, as well as a Pokemon known as Gyaun, and potentially its pre-evolution. Up until recently, many of these have only been seen in sketches, so it's really cool to finally get a sprite of them, albeit only a back sprite. Moving along, there are also some old title screens, including one from when the series was still known as Capsule Monsters. And while we're talking about the title screen, there's also this early graphic of Red in which he is seen wearing a different jacket. Then, beyond just Pokemon, several sprites for Pokemon trainers were also found. And interestingly, they are all referred to as dealers. First we got a girl, a firefighter, and Goku? Yeah, I don't know. Then several gym leader sprites were also uncovered. First are two different versions of a scrapped gym leader that was apparently once planned to have been encountered before Brock, when the plan was to have 9 gym leaders in the game. This first one here is believed to be back from when the game still held the Capsule Monster's name with a big C on his shirt, and I guess this was updated when the game title was changed. Next is an old sprite for Brock, also believed to be from the Capsule Monsters days, and lastly, Blaine's scrapped original sprite. This was to be Blaine's original design till for whatever reason it was decided that Blaine would take the Silph Chief sprite instead. So if you ever wondered why Blaine looked so different in the instruction manual for the game, this is why. Next up is the player's, or Red's, original sprite, in which the developers were going for a more trainer look with the whip and all. No shock here as to why this was changed, considering this was a game targeted towards kids and whipping animals. Yeah, I think PETA already gives Pokemon games a hard enough time as it is. Then lastly is this unused overworld cat sprite, this bow, as well as some original unused text for the game's intro. Now let's move on to some unused audio. When Pokemon Yellow launched, many fans were excited to hear Pikachu's voice in the game as heard in the anime instead of... Unfortunately though, this was only the case for Pikachu, but apparently all 151 original Pokemon were planned to have their anime cries recorded and digitized for the game. To back this up, recently several cries, as heard in the Japanese anime, have also been unearthed. These include cries for Gengar, Diglett, Graveler, and Paris. Yeah, they don't sound all that great. Now unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess depends how you look at it, the plan to include anime cries was scrapped very likely due to either the low quality of these cries, or simply just the difficulty with recording clips for each regional variation of the anime, which if accuracy was a target, this would likely require hiring numerous voice actors. Then on top of these cries, there's also an unused Pikachu sound. Then there's an unused version of the Celadon City theme with an alternate intro. And finally, there's an unused version of the Cerulean City theme, again with a different intro. And lastly, but probably my favorite, is an alternate version of the jingle heard at a Pokemon Center when healing your Pokemon. Now, as much as I do like the one that is used in the final game, I gotta admit this one is also really good. Next up, we got some unused functions and coding oddities that have also been discovered. First is a function labeled as Mewtwo, spelt a little bit differently than the Pokemon name, that would pull up Mewtwo's Pokedex entry after interacting with the fossils found in the Safari Warden's house. Now personally, I'm not sure why this function exists, but some have speculated that perhaps at one point Mewtwo was to be a fossil Pokemon that would be obtained from fossil DNA, much like Kabuto or Ammonite. Then, just as strange, is a function listed as Mew_MassPro, which would cause a woman in a Pokemon Center to repeatedly generate Mews. Now this might sound cool, but in execution this results in the game soft locking, as the woman will repeatedly ask the player if they want to nickname a Mew until the game is shut off. I assume the MassPro part of the name is short for mass production, but I'm unsure as to why such a function would exist, especially since Mew is so difficult to legitimately obtain. Then other oddities that didn't make it into the final release or were changed include this Pikachu dance move thing. Gym leaders were originally referred to as judges, and finally are some unused overworld field moves. Amongst other field moves that were retained for the final release, like Cut, Fly, and Surf, are some unused ones like Mega Fire and Solar Beam. It appears that Solar Beam was eventually replaced by the move Flash, and I assume it would have had the same effect of illuminating a cave, but as far as the Mega Fire move, I have no idea where such a move could be useful, outside of maybe burning down trees or grass as an alternate to Cut, or perhaps lighting up areas, again similar to Flash. It's currently unclear. And last up for this video, we got some more unused areas. These include this unused dungeon map, reminiscent of the Seafoam Islands, an early version of the house that gets burgled in Cerulean City, an early version of the Safari Zone, then an early version of Celadon City, as well as a place just known as Town 12. In the last two in particular, we can see that these appear to use more basic looking placeholder tiles. Then following suit, there's also a prototype version of Pallet Town, including an early version of both the first and second floor of the player's house. Again, these are quite different than what we've seen in the final game. For example, Oak's Lab isn't even present in this Pallet Town yet. And lastly is this unused city map, which based on its layout, I would imagine is an early version of Viridian City. In each of these maps that are clearly from an earlier point in development, despite the graphics looking crude, I think it's really cool to see some of these early graphics, many of which ended up being replaced. The early Pokemon Center sign, a sign for an inn, as well as this sign of some Pokemon. It's weird, these graphics give me a strange feeling of nostalgia, despite only recently seeing them for the first time. I can't really explain it. And that's about it for this video covering some more Pokemon Gen 1 Lost Bits, and I hope you enjoyed. I really love learning about Pokemon pre-release content like this, and I hope you do too. Again, stay tuned as I'll try to make a video covering more of the Gen 2 stuff pretty soon. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like and check out some more of my Lost Bits videos, like the original one I made on Gold and Silver, by clicking on the card right here. Also, be sure to subscribe here for future videos, swing by my other social media things, which are all linked down in the description below, and if you want to support the channel, check out my merch over at TetraBitGaming.com, or consider becoming the latest member of the Bit Club to get some nifty extra channel perks. Click on that big join button below for more information. Anyways guys, thanks so much for tuning in, and I will see you in a bit.